Your morning shapes your identity in more ways than most people realize. It's not just the beginning of your day, it's the foundation of your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your destiny. How you spend those first 60 minutes after you wake up determines who you become throughout the rest of the day. It sets the emotional tone, the mental direction, and the physical energy you carry with you into every conversation, decision, and challenge. Think about it. What's the very first thing you do when you open your eyes? Is it grabbing your phone and scrolling through distractions? Or is it sitting up, grounding yourself, breathing deeply, and stepping into the day with intention? Those early moments are powerful. They aren't random. They either pull you toward purpose or push you into passivity. They either reinforce self-restraint or feed self-neglect. You don't just wake up, you make a choice about who you're becoming every single morning. Confidence isn't a sudden burst of inspiration, it's built through consistent action. And that action starts when the world is still quiet, when nobody's watching. If you want to feel more powerful, more capable, more centered, you have to earn that feeling before the day even begins. That's why successful people obsess over their mornings. Not because they love waking up early, but because they understand the psychological advantage it gives them. Waking up early and taking control of the first hour creates a mental victory. It tells your subconscious, I am in control, I am responsible for my life. And when that message is repeated, through action, through discipline, it becomes your identity. Your morning is your mirror. It reflects back what you value. If your first hour is chaotic, filled with rushing, noise and reaction, it signals that your life is being run by external forces. But if your first hour is calm, focused, structured, and purposeful, it shows that you respect yourself enough to take control. That sense of control builds mental clarity, it builds emotional resilience, it builds a personal standard that the rest of the day must live up to. What you feed your mind early shapes your entire mental state. If you start with negativity, comparison, or meaningless content, your brain operates in survival mode. You carry a scattered energy. But if you begin with gratitude, reflection, goal setting, or even 10 minutes of silence, you enter the day with clarity and confidence. You walk into every room with presence because you've already aligned yourself from within. Discipline in the morning is a form of self-respect. Every time you follow through on a healthy morning routine, you tell yourself, I matter, my goals matter, my peace matters. Over time, that belief becomes rooted in your identity. You stop looking for motivation and start acting from principle. That's when the real transformation begins, not just in your results, but in how you view yourself. So if you want to become someone powerful, focused, and unshakable, don't look at the big achievements first. Look at your morning. Change how your day starts, and you'll naturally change how your life unfolds. Because when you consistently win the morning, you don't just change your schedule, you change who you are. The mind is at its most vulnerable state immediately after waking up. In that delicate window between sleep and full alertness, your subconscious mind is highly impressionable. It absorbs whatever you feed it. Thoughts, emotions, external stimuli. And those inputs begin to form the emotional and mental rhythm that carries through your entire day. This is why the moments right after waking are so critical. They are not just transitions between rest and action. They are the foundation upon which your entire mindset for the day is built. When you first open your eyes, your brain is in a state called theta. This is the same brainwave state associated with meditation and deep relaxation. In this state, you are more suggestible. What you see, hear, and think during this time doesn't just pass through your mind, it sinks in deeply and starts shaping your beliefs, emotions. That means if the first thing you do is check your phone and consume anxiety-inducing news, or compare yourself to someone else's filtered life on social media, you've already told your brain to run on stress, fear, and inadequacy. Most people don't even realize that they are programming their entire nervous system for chaos before they even brush their teeth. The scrolling, the rushing, the checking emails, or reacting to notifications, all of these behaviors throw the brain into a reactive mode. Instead of starting the day with intention and direction, You begin with distraction and disconnection. The mind, still raw from the vulnerability of sleep, latches onto whatever is exposed to, and that becomes the mental filter you wear for the rest of the day. You become more irritable, more easily overwhelmed, and less able to focus. Not because the day is hard, but because you began it by giving your power away. But what if you fed your mind something different? What if instead of reaching for your phone, you reached for your breath? What if you spent 5 minutes in silence, allowing your mind to wake up gradually with peace rather than panic? Imagine how different your day would feel if the first thing your brain absorbed was gratitude, not stress, discipline, not distraction, clarity, not confusion. The way you start your day is a message to yourself, is a declaration of what matters most. If you choose to feed your mind silence, intention, and discipline first thing in the morning, that rhythm doesn't just last for the first hour. It echoes throughout your decisions, your reactions, and your emotional balance for the entire day. You become more focused because your mind started calm. You respond instead of react because your mind started strong. You carry a quiet confidence because your mind wasn't polluted by noise. Your vulnerability in the morning isn't a weakness, it's an opportunity. It's your chance to shape your day before the world tries to shape it for you. Protect your mornings like sacred ground. What you allow in during those first moments will become the energy you carry until the sun sets. And the truth is simple. Control the input and you'll control the outcome. Feed your mind well and it will serve you all day long. Discipline in the morning is one of the most powerful tools for building inner strength. It's not about doing massive, impressive tasks before the sun rises. It's about committing to small, consistent actions that train your mind to respect structure, purpose, and follow through. These small wins, making your bed, drinking water, stretching your body, doing a few push-ups, might seem insignificant in a moment, but they are not. They are the bricks that lay the foundation of a powerful mindset. When you start your day by doing something intentional, no matter how small, you send a signal to your brain. I am in control. That simple message becomes the root of confidence. You no longer drift through your morning, you step into it with command. And over time, these little acts of discipline begin to shape your identity. You go from someone who reacts to someone who leads, from someone who needs motivation to someone who takes action regardless of how they feel. Take something as basic as making your bed. It doesn't take more than a minute, but what it does is powerful. It introduces order into your environment. That order bleeds into your thoughts. Your brain begins to associate waking up with structure and pride. You've already completed your first task. That's momentum. And momentum is addictive. When you hydrate immediately after, you've already made your second decision in favor of your health. These aren't random actions. They're small declarations that you value your life and your time. Discipline isn't loud, it doesn't beg for attention, but it changes everything silently. When you practice it early in the morning, before the world wakes up, you develop a private sense of victory. It's the kind of pride that doesn't need applause. You know you showed up for yourself, and that knowledge becomes fuel. You carry that into your work, your relationships, your goals. You're more focused, less easily distracted. You don't chase comfort, you chase growth. What makes morning discipline so unique is that it doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't rely on how you feel. You don't need to feel motivated to do 10 push-ups or to write down 3 goals. You just need to decide. And that decision strengthens your willpower. It teaches your brain that action doesn't need to follow emotion. It can lead it. That is the essence of power. Not waiting for the perfect moment, but creating it through discipline. These small acts, repeated daily, begin to wire your brain for progress. They make you resilient. They give you a sense of internal control that the chaos of the world can't shake. While others stumble into their day, you've already built momentum. While others react, you've already set your tone. You've already proven before anything else happens that you can lead yourself. And when you can lead yourself, there's nothing in life that you can't eventually master. Discipline in the morning isn't a routine, it's a personal revolution. It's where the best version of you is sculpted, one small, intentional action at a time. Silence and solitude before the world wakes up is not just a peaceful moment, it is raw power. In a world that constantly pulls you in every direction, the early morning offers something that no other part of the day can: stillness. That stillness is sacred. It's a rare space where there are no notifications, no conversations, no noise, and no demands. Just you, present, aware, and open. It's in this space that your thoughts settle, your intuition becomes louder, and your mind finds clarity. Most people underestimate the value of solitude. They fill every moment with sound, distraction, or stimulation. But in doing so, they silence the voice within that has the answers they're searching for. The early morning hours, when the world is still asleep, allow you to return to yourself. There's no pressure to respond, no one asking for your attention, no chaos. It's just you and the silence. And in that silence, something powerful happens. Your real thoughts rise to the surface. This is the time when your mind is fresh, unpolluted by the day's stress and obligations. You haven't yet been influenced by news, opinions, or social media. Your thinking is clean, your emotions are stable, and because there are no distractions, your mind begins to organize itself naturally. You reflect, you gain insight, you begin to see things you couldn't see when your brain was overloaded and overstimulated. This is where breakthroughs happen, not just in your career or creativity, but in your sense of purpose and understanding of life. In silence, your soul speaks. It tells you what you've been ignoring. It reveals your fears, your dreams, and the patterns that have kept you stuck. These moments of clarity are not accidents, they are born from the environment you create. That quiet morning space becomes a mirror. It shows you who you really are, what you truly want, and what's been holding you back. The longer you sit in that space, the more aligned you become with your inner compass. You stop operating on autopilot, you begin to make decisions that reflect your truth instead of your conditioning. This is why so many great thinkers, leaders, and creators value the morning so deeply. It's not just about productivity. It's about connection to self, to purpose, to clarity. In solitude, there's power. Because when you're not influenced by outside noise, you start to trust your own voice. That self-trust becomes unshakable. It becomes a source of strength that no circumstance. You don't need hours. Even 10 minutes of solitude in the morning can change the entire course of your day. It sets your emotional tone, it sharpens your focus, it reminds you of what truly matters. And once you step back into the world, you do so from a place of strength, not stress. You respond instead of react. You lead instead of follow. Silence isn't emptiness. It's full of answers. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's self-discovery. If you want to access your full power, meet yourself in the stillness of the morning. Before the world begins shouting, take time to listen. That's where your clarity lives. That's where your power begins. Mornings aren't just about productivity. They're about self-respectation. How you choose to start your day says everything about how you see yourself and what you believe you deserve. It's not just about taking off tasks, hustling early, or being ahead of everyone else. It's about honoring your own existence. It's about showing up for yourself with intention and care. Before the rest of the world tries to pull you in 100 directions, your morning routine reflects the standard you set for your life. When you wake up and immediately dive into chaos, hitting snooze, scrolling through your phone, rushing out the door, you're unconsciously telling yourself, I don't matter enough to start my day with peace and purpose. You send a message to your brain, your body, and even the universe that you're okay with surviving instead of thriving, that energy follows you throughout the day. It influences how you speak to yourself, how you treat others, and what you allow into your life. On the other hand, when you begin your morning with intention, even in small ways, you affirm that you are worth time, focus, and care. You say, I respect myself enough to take control of my life starting now. It could be something as simple as making your bed, journaling for 5 minutes, moving your body, or preparing a healthy breakfast. These aren't just habits, they are daily acts of self-respect. You're not just starting the day right, you're reminding yourself that you deserve to live with clarity, energy, and dignity. Self-respect isn't built through grand gestures, it's built in quiet consistency. It's shown in the way you prioritize your peace. It's in how you protect your attention. It's in how you choose your thoughts first thing in the morning. Are you beginning your day by reacting to the world? Or are you anchoring yourself before the world demands anything from you? That choice, made day after day, defines who you become. When you give yourself time in the morning to breathe, to think, to plan, you step into your day from a position of strength. You show up grounded, not scattered. Clear, not confused. Empowered, not exhausted. Your mornings are your declaration to life. If you treat them like an afterthought, you slowly lose touch with your power. But if you treat them like sacred time, everything begins to shift. You start attracting different energy. You make better decisions. You stop tolerating things that no longer serve you. Why? Because you've already shown yourself that you're worth more. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have a flawless routine. What matters is the intention, the message you're sending to yourself every single morning. That message becomes your standard, and your standard becomes your identity. So if you want to change your life, don't start with the big moments. Start with the morning. Because how you treat yourself in those first quiet minutes says everything about what you believe you deserve. And the world will always reflect back the standard you set for yourself. Win the morning and you'll handle anything by noon. It's not a motivational slogan, it's a truth that plays out every single day in the lives of disciplined, grounded, and intentional people. When you take control of the morning, when you own the first hour of your day, you put yourself in a position of strength that most people never experience, while the rest of the world is still waking up, caught in grogginess, noise, or rush. You've already set your tone, centered your mind, and built your momentum. That early victory shifts your entire energy, making even the hardest challenges feel smaller. The key is not just waking up early for the sake of it, but waking up with purpose. It's the difference between drifting through life and directing it. That first hour when the world is quiet is your advantage. It's when your mind is clearest, your willpower is strongest, and your distractions are fewest. It's the time when you can plan without panic, reflect without interruption, and move without pressure. And when you use that time wisely, whether by moving your body, practicing gratitude, setting intentions, or simply sitting in silence, you build a sense of inner control that can't be shaken by what happens later in the day. Think about what most people experience by noon: emails, obligations, unexpected problems, mental fatigue, and emotional noise. But when you've already achieved personal victories in the morning, when you've honored your goals, protected your peace, and moved with discipline, those same challenges don't knock you off balance. You're not reacting, you're responding. You're not overwhelmed, you're prepared. You've already shown up for yourself. So when life starts demanding more from you, you're ready to give it without losing yourself in the process. It's like starting a race already ahead. While others are just trying to catch up with their own energy and mood, you're already in flow. You've already won mentally, and that inner win becomes the root of external success. You walk into rooms differently, you speak with more clarity, you solve problems faster. Not because the day is easier, but because you're stronger. You've already done the hard part, showing up for yourself when no one was watching. Winning the morning creates a momentum that carries through every conversation, every decision, every task. You begin your day on offense, not defense. You become proactive, not reactive. This mindset doesn't just help you with productivity, it transforms your confidence, your emotional resilience, and your ability to handle pressure. You don't panic under chaos because your first hour was built on calm. You don't get lost in noise because you started in silence. You don't chase the day, it follows your lead. This is why morning discipline is one of the greatest forms of self-mastery. It's not about perfection, it's about preparation. It's about building the kind of mindset that doesn't crumble at the first sign of stress. Because when you win the morning, you've already told yourself, I am in control. And when you carry that belief, no obstacle feels bigger than your ability to face it. Your morning is not just a part of your day, it is the foundation of your identity. How you wake up, what you choose to do, and what energy you allow into your mind are all silent declarations of who you are and who you're becoming. The truth is, every powerful life begins with powerful mornings. It's in those quiet moments, before the world stirs, that you either give away your strength or claim it fully. You don't need perfect routines, you need commitment. You need the courage to say, this time is mine. Because when you protect your mornings with discipline, silence, clarity, and self-respect, you stop living on autopilot. You lead, you create, you grow, you set the tone not just for the next few hours, but for your mindset, your emotional resilience, and your long-term success. So rise with purpose, move with intent, think with clarity, and never forget, if you can win the morning, you've already won the day.